Hey, welcome back to Route 40 Rust, and today we're talking about donut gaskets, exhaust donut gaskets on that pile. And that's really not that exciting, but thanks for joining me anyway. So I don't know who they are, but they say everything is content. I don't know. I really don't know what that means. It's like, I guess it makes sense, but against my better judgment, I need to replace, well, it's not against my better judgment to replace the donut gasket on this exhaust manifold on the flatbed, but to record it, I don't know, because you'll probably see me climbed up in there and my butt crack probably right here, and it won't be like new moon waxing waning moon, but like half to full moon is probably what will happen, at least to get the top, bolt off the stud on the exhaust manifold. And the other one I'll just have to lay on soggy grass and chicken poop and stuff. So I don't know. I guess we gotta do that. Oh, I do want to show you what I bought at the junkyard. If you didn't see the last video, junkyard exploration, check it out. It's a pretty good one. It's a little long, like an hour and 20 minutes, but we checked out a pretty cool junkyard in Wells County, Indiana, and it's a pretty good one. A lot of good treasures. But I did buy stuff, not much. I paid 20 bucks. I got the trim for this truck. I don't know what you think about that. So I got it all, even the little corner pieces. Attention to detail. Except for these, I got my little West Coast Junior mirrors, which I don't like, and this piece won't quite drop in there because of the mirrors. But that's okay. You can see it's barely bolted on anyway, so I'll take these out and probably shim this back. Well, see what that looks like. Shim that out. Look, it's rubbing the paint. I could probably get it to pop in there. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, but I need to do this donut gasket. She's blowed out like you grew up in Cincinnati on Skyline chili, but now you're over 40 and it just doesn't agree with you anymore. Kind of blowed out. And if you've never had Skyline chili, you're missing out. If you're in northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, too far north, I'd say Dayton or further north, you don't want none of that. It's just not the same. Kind of like La Rosa's Pizza. Anyway, I can't take you in the barn because listening to the radio and YouTube will flag me for copyright infringements. So that's that. I'm just gonna get some tools, dodge some raindrops, and get working on that guy. I'm gonna put these away. More trim stuff that'll never get done because I just filled that truck up, the gas tank on it to the brim, and the welder is filled up. And then of course I blow a donut gasket out and it sounds like, a Danger Ranger with no exhaust zipping down the interstate in fourth gear at 4,000 RPMs, I don't know. And I filled up some other gas tanks, little guys stuff. Maybe that one's full too, I don't know. This truck's half full. What's cool about old cars is you can just, if I need gas, like I'd blow the engine on this little Betty, I could just siphon the fuel right out of here with no block off plate or no protection that stops from someone stealing your gas, and move it to that truck or this Jeep or that truck or that Jeep, or you can see through the Suburban or whatever. I think you just move her around. Ooh, check. If you guys have watched any of my videos, there's always some goats. And I want to introduce you to Mo the Hammer. He's our stud. And this guy right here, he smashed more dough than a Peterbilt. Let me tell you what. Look at him. Mosif, what are you doing? Perched up on your tire. You gonna come say hi? Oh. I'm not gonna touch you because I've just saw you pee on your face and then lick your crotch and then sniff the air. You're doing weird stuff. Anyway, handsome bearded devil. Handsome. I'm almost jealous how good looking you are. Look at your eyes. Boop. That's about as nice as you've ever been to me. Usually you would have headbutted through that woven wire fence, took out my right kneecap and laid me up for a couple weeks. But he'll have his chance. Let me get tools. I got stuff to do. Go ahead and use my junkyard tools because I just got back from the junkyard. I just laid it in water, so it needs to dry out. If you've ever done any Ford FE or Ford engine work, or the exhaust, mental note for you. The studs are two different sizes. Your top one will be at 11/16, which is an underused and underappreciated standard socket that the world just doesn't see enough on, and then it's 5/8 on the bottom, and it's a bit fickle to get to, so I use a 1/2 inch drive with just the 1/2 to 3/8 adapter. Gives you that little stubbiness to it. So now a shallow doesn't quite get you all the beans, but a deep weld is a little too much beans and you'll have some room issues. So we'll try this, or we'll try the old trick where you kind of put your socket on the extension but you kind of don't, and then you just break everything. So I think the top one's loose, which is cool. It didn't break. And then see if I can't go crack the bottom loose. The missus, the old waffle maker, got me that for Christmas a couple years back. The Milwaukee Rocket. Ahab's harpoon, the one forged at Perth's fire, remained firmly lashed in its conspicuous crotch, projected beyond his whaleboat's bow, with the sea that just had stove it. Oh, hey guys. Did you know that you could support this channel, Route 40 Rust? And it's super easy. It's actually called a super thanks. If you look at the bottom of the video right now, you'll see a button that says thanks. If you click on it, it'll give you the option of donating $2, $5, $10, $20, all the way up to $500. And that money helps us buy future project cars, rust buckets, and eclectic vehicles of all kind. So if you don't mind and you'd want to help out, go ahead and donate a little something, and we'd greatly appreciate it. Blast you into illumination like under the Denver International Airport. Anyway, let's try doing the thing. Oh, I might need a deep weld. Oh, I just skylined myself. Let's see. Sure. Yep, everything I said is a lie. Let's go back up top and reassess. What's up? I lied to you. The bottom's not at 5/8. It's at 11/16 too. But the good news is, it's not rusted. I don't know if the stud's coming out. Doesn't look like it. I think these studs in the 60s and 70s log is supposed to be brass or something. I don't know. But that came off way too easy, which leads me to believe the threads might be messed up. I don't know. feel okay. How's that look to you guys? Looks good to me. Put that right there so I can lose it. What do I need? I need to go get the top. I think I can get it from here. You guys think I can? I think I can. You might have already noticed that I don't have a lot of cars around here. I guess let's get up top. That's because you can't just roll under a car when you're a guy like me. Might as well. Gotta make that money somehow. It's not happening. Okay, I got an idea. Let's invent sockets that aren't quite shallow and aren't quite deep, like a mid-well socket. Ooh, mid-well. You heard it here first. New Route 40 Rust mid-well sockets. I need to go find a chrome one. Is the view better? Probably not. Oh, for Peter Edward Rose. And I dropped the socket. I don't get frustrated easily, but it's happening. You might not be able to hear it, but there is a beagle giving its all, barking at something. I've had just about enough of that. Drop the socket again. Ooh, kind of rolled out though. I really don't know why I don't have an 11/16 wrench. I know I own one. I just don't know where it's at. Because I remember doing the other side, I take the whole exhaust manifold off because one of the studs were jacked up, and I said to myself, hey, I really need this 11. Drop the socket again. Nuts. Oh, it rolled out again. Cool. Let's try a ratchet instead of the breaker bar. Sure could use a mid-well socket right now. I don't think we're ready for that. Everything is content. It's a bunch of bull crap. I could say fun words right now if I was by myself. Let's take a breather. Okay, well, I got it to the point that I think you can rejoin me. The neighbors called the police because of my crack hanging out, which I'll countersue because they're a couple hundred yards away, which means they're using binoculars, and that's voyeurism. So that'll be an interesting court case. And I'll have you know, I didn't say any bad words while you were away, because I figured I could use the Almighty's help on this one. Let's not get him mad. Maybe not get him mad, but disappoint him, you know? Because we're working on cars because they're fun. So we don't need to get nasty. I wonder if this bolt, this stud is bad too. Oh, what? Because it feels weird when it turns. Really wish I had a wrench. This is turning into an ordeal, is it not? Oop. Oop. I think I got one extra stud for this log. I'll probably tear it up. Nut looks okay. That looks okay. Well, there's not even a gasket available in here. Must have shot out the, must have kind of broke in half and shot out the tailpipe. You know, yeah, we'll clean that up. How do I look? You know, I feel like the factory exhaust manifold donut gasket and all the other gaskets would have lasted like, you know, 30-40 years. Like, I can say with almost certainty that on the 66, which has a 300 straight six, like, the exhaust has not been touched from the manifold down since its conception into this world. And the gasket's fine. So this motor did not come in this truck. This is a 73 to 79. Ford big blocks would have came in like the dent side Ford trucks, and they got stuffed in here. So obviously they put like a Fel-Pro kit in here, which is fine and dandy because I'm about to do the same when they rebuilt this motor. And that gasket, I mean, I'm gonna have to assume that they restored this truck 15-20 years ago, and that's something we're starting to see now, is a vehicle that might have had like a semi kind of restoration job. Someone poured a lot of work into it, drove it, something else went wrong, they got sick of it and they put it aside, and then someone else gets it like me and it's going through its like second restoration, if you will. So let me see what kind of gaskets I got and see if they even fit. Alright, so I got a handful of donut gaskets off of Lord knows what, excuse me. Two are the same. One's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit wider. This one is wider than that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it. It's kind of like, in my opinion, like a wax ring. If you ever replaced a commode in your days, which I'm sure most of you have, the wax ring that goes on the floor. Between that and the toilet, you know, sometimes when these bathrooms have been redone a few times, you got all that tile stacked up and you got to use the double wax ring or the extra thick ones. So I'm gonna go with the old toilet theory with this thicker donut, and it is a Ford, so it's like plumbing, toilets. I'm not saying it's crappy, come on guys, that's rude. Oh no. Did I lose the detent ball at my ancient snap-on ratchet? Oh well. I'm sure all you seasoned hot rodders, backyard mechanics, keyboard engineers already know this, but you don't just want to crank down one of these nuts and then go to the other one, because you want this donut gasket to kind of sit in there, conical, kind of sit just right. So you want to snug up one a little bit and then go to the bottom. We'll go ahead and get that one a little snug, and then we'll go to the bottom and bring that around and kind of walk the flange onto the manifold parallel. That. Yeah, struggling. Also noticed my speedometer cable is riding on the exhaust, so I'll fix that. I also need to definitely find that 11/16 wrench. Well, I found my 11/16 gear wrench in the little man's toolbox. Could be his, but it's definitely mine now. Also found this offset box end 11/16 with 5/8, which will probably now stay in this truck, so I'll use it for everything. I see a new exhaust wrench, and this is now my wrench. Well, I zip tied stuff to stuff and got the stuff out of the way from burning on the stuff. Got that on there. Now there's some leaves on the engine. Fired up. Oh yeah. I immediately hear an exhaust leak. But that's how she goes. You get a little pitter putter, maybe let it warm up a skosh, and then re-torque those nuts down. Significantly better. Like I said, it sounded like open header Ford Ranger. I don't feel no exhaust blowing out of it. It's just burning off some of that knocker loose on there. So I'm gonna let it warm up, not a lot, just a little bit. and then give them just a little 1/8 turn. Well, the 1970 F350 is purring away. Sounds pretty good. By good, I mean no obnoxious exhaust lead right after the exhaust manifold. So I'm gonna take some time, let it warm up, put these cheap garbage tools away. You guys, I'll tell you what, who work on cars, try doing everything one-handed with a camera in your hand. It's a game changer. If I could have both hands, we might actually have something nice around here, but we don't, because I like you guys a lot. Speaking of that, how's deer hunting been going for everybody? I know bow season opened up not long ago, and I've been out sitting in the trees a couple times. Seen something every time, just out of range. Last time I sat out there, oh no, where's my 11/16 chrome socket? It's probably under the truck. Gosh darn it, nabbit. Tony Perez. And I had a buck who was just dilly-dallying way out of range. And he eventually came up and stood just out of range. It took him about an hour to work his way up there. Oh no, where's my socket? Gosh, you find a tool, you lose a tool. Isn't that life? Anyway, and I was watching him. He was like about 5 more feet, and I would be comfortable taking a shot. And then I've got a deer feeder back there, and it's a timer one, and it just started flinging corn right when he was there, and it scared him, and he took off. He was a young fella, and he was being cautious anyhow. Smart guy, wasn't an old buck, just a couple 2.5 years old or something. Smart enough to know that something wasn't right. The wind wasn't in my favor. It wasn't horrible, but he was cautious, and then that feeder just, but it was a fun hunt to sit there and wait on him to come up. Didn't work out. That's okay. We'll get back out there, wait for the daylight savings times or sun times of things. I gotta find the socket. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Well, I did a pretty basic job. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, follow, check out my other videos. We'll see you guys.